Hey everyone, welcome to a new episode of Games I Speak. I'm Geo, and this is the first episode of this year, 2022. And unfortunately, Josie can't be here today, but he'll probably join us next week. I had a talk with him about the show and what we kind of wanted to do. So normally we would just cover a wide variety of topics. We would cover industry news. We would cover, things like Nintendo, Sony, Microsoft, all those kind of industry stories. Studios like problems with Blizzard. We've covered that before. All kinds of industry news. We would also cover individual games, but they were every type of genre. Like I would cover a lot of PC games, and then I would cover a lot of RPGs, for Josie. And I would try to balance it the best I could, but I would try to pick stories that would interest both of us. That being said, this year we're going to do something different. We're going to focus on one genre. We're going to cut out industry news for the most part, and we're just going to focus on RPGs. And the reason why I chose RPGs, and I obviously talked to Josie about it, and he was for it too, is because there's a lot of overlap between me and him as far as RPGs. And I don't think I could do this show if I didn't pick RPGs, to be honest. For one, my favorite games are action RPGs like Dark Souls, and two, I'm so just hype about the Final Fantasy VII remake and Final Fantasy XVI and Final Fantasy in general, that I don't think I would want to do the show if I wasn't going to be able to cover those games. And also Josie has a really good understanding of a lot more I don't want to say obscure, but like hidden gem RPGs, like Robot Wars, which flew under the radar in America, but apparently is one of the best RPGs of the year. So I think this, hopefully this will help us build a better audience, in the sense that, not better as in the sense that better people, but better in the sense that people who are more interested in one topic. Because right now, when I look at our statistics, we have very little amount of people who keep coming back to watching our show, which tells me that they don't have a common interest. You know what I mean? If we're doing episodes on, Microsoft versus Epic lawsuits, and then we do episodes on, first-person shooters, and then we do episodes on RPGs, it just doesn't create like a cohesive community, and that's what I think YouTube is all about now. It's all about building a community, and I don't want to say catering to that community because that seems kind of hollow, but interacting with that community in the genre or the niche, as what a lot of YouTube experts call it, that bring people together. So that being said, I mean, let's take a look at some of the most anticipated RPGs coming out this year. So this is an article by RPG Site. And we're going to be seeing a lot. You're going to be seeing a lot more of this site on this channel now that we're switching to RPG news for the most part. So this is done by their staff as well as a Twitter poll, where they just kind of took some of the biggest RPGs that are being released, and they're kind of polling people to see who's most excited for what. So let's start off. Grand Blue Fantasy Relink. Now, this is going to be an RPG game. It was originally announced in 2016. For those that don't know, Grand Blue Fantasy is a browser game, and I believe it's based upon an anime. Now they did come out with a fighting game a few years back, which I did a review on this channel. The game was beautiful. It was like one of the best looking fighting games I've ever played, to be honest. The sprite work, the animation was amazing. But the gameplay itself was very simplified, and I guess a lot of people didn't like that. It didn't really bring people the mental stimulation that they require of fighting games, at least the hardcore people. So this is going to be just a pure RPG, which I think is going to be the right move for side games. So I'm definitely looking forward to this. I can already tell you without a doubt it's going to look and sound beautiful. As far as the gameplay goes, we'll see. Next up, Stranger of Paradise, Final Fantasy Origin. Now, this is a title that me and Josie both are excited for. Not because it's a Final Fantasy game, but because it's kind of like a weird fusion of Square Enix, Koei Tecmo, and Team Ninja. So it's going to be a very unique game from Square Enix, something that we're not used to seeing. That being said, me and Josie both played the demo and we enjoyed it a lot. We liked the gameplay, we liked the mechanics. The game was pretty rough around the edges, so it doesn't need a lot of polish. But other than that, the game looks pretty promising. So this is definitely one on my list. Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak. So I don't think this is the most important thing about Monster Hunter Rise. I think the most important thing is that it's coming to PC, especially on Steam. I am actually debating restarting the game on the PC version because I just want to see it in 4K because the Switch can't do that. I have poured, at this point, over 100 hours into this game. I love this game. It was my game of the year. I can't wait to play Sunbreak, and they're also adding a master rank. And we'll go over some of the more PC specific stuff next after this. Relayer. This is a mech RPG, and I guess you could say it's kind of like Robot Wars, but it looks like it's going to be a more 3D based Gundam type style. I'm just guessing. So this is made by the team behind God Wars, and I guess that game wasn't received, very positively, but it was kind of a mixed bag. And so I don't know anything about this game, but the fact that it's going to be a mech-based RPG is interesting. Those are very uncommon. So I'll keep an eye on this one. I'm not going to commit to it yet. Star Ocean, The Divine Force. So this game, I gotta say, I never really got into the Star Ocean series. But this is supposed to be a kind of more expansive, maybe the most expansive Star Ocean RPG. And, that being said, I will keep an eye on it. I'm not going to commit to it because I'm more of an action RPG, type gamer. But, I'll keep my mind open on it. This one, me and Josie have talked about this. So, and we kind of got mixed up. There's two separate games. So, there's an RPG spiritual successor to Suikoden. I never know how to say that. Called Ayuden Chronicle 100 Heroes. Okay, that is not coming out. That's probably going to come out next year. This is a spin-off of that, which is a 2D side-scrolling RPG called Ayuden Chronicle Rising. Now, so one thing I'm going to try to do is I have been loving 2D side-scrolling games this last year, especially Metroidvanias. So for us to focus on RPGs, it's going to be kind of hard for me because I'm going to have to balance my time between my love of Metroidvanias as well as just, Halo Infinite, I play Mordau a lot. I play some League of Legends games. But a side-scrolling RPG, that is something I want to see more of, because I love side-scrolling gameplay, but I love RPG mechanics. Put them together. Those are the type of games I want to see more of. So I think I'm going to commit to this one, just because it's not common you get this type of game, you know. Next up, we have Starfield. So this is one I'm definitely committing to. So I've always been an early adopter of Bethesda games. You know, Oblivion, all those games, I would get them immediately and then just play them to death, pretty much. I've bought like 4 different copies of Skyrim. I know I'm a loser. But this is a whole new IP, which we haven't seen from them in a while. Oh yeah, also I love Fallout. I play every Fallout. So this is something that I have to play. I mean, like this is my obligatory, you know, Bethesda game quota here. So when this comes out, I'm committing to it 100%. I'm gonna jump on it and I'm going to beat it. I'm gonna do I don't know how the story's gonna be. I don't know how expansive the world's gonna be. I assume I know this is a very like loose way of saying it, and this is what a lot of people say. I don't think it's gonna be a Skyrim in space. I think it's gonna be a Fallout in space. So we'll see. But I'm very interested in playing this game. Rune Factory 5. I haven't played any of the Rune Factory games, but they are action RPG, farming sim, dating sim. So they're a mixture of action RPG and sim games. Now, as far as I know, these games are huge in Japan. They do really well. I remember seeing some charts where some of these games were doing really well. That being said, we're getting this game late, and it's because they didn't localize it for the Western market. So this is going to be something we're getting. Now, like I said, I haven't played them, so I don't know if I would enjoy them. So I'm going to keep an eye on this one. Pokemon Legends Arceus. So we've talked about this on the show before. It was rumored to be an open world Pokemon game. That is not the case. It's going to be like a half open world. It's going to be similar to Monster Hunter Rise. So just keep that in mind so that you're not disappointed when it comes out. You're probably going to have a hub world, and then you're going to be going to different maps and catching Pokemon. So I love Pokemon games. I've been playing the older ones as of late on my Game Boy Advance. I haven't really been playing the new ones. So I'm most likely probably going to get this one and play it. So Elden Ring. So for me and Josie, this is number 1. And I don't know how you could not have this number 1. But that being said, I'm not going to hate on people who love more traditional RPGs. This game is looking like it's going to be one of the biggest time sinks for me this year. It's coming out soon, within a couple of months. Me and Josie ordered the collector's edition, which, by the way, I will tell you all, is still up for pre-order on Bandai Namco's website. They were gone on GameStop's website, but they're up for pre-order on Bandai Namco's website. The premium edition, which Josie was trying so hard to get, and I was waiting for him to kind of like, oh, it's open, and then I was gonna buy it. That one, there was very little notification on it, and I went to the thing, and there's still a waiting list. So you can go to the Bandai Namco website and sign up for that waiting list if you want that super, premium edition. It's like $260 without tax. But yeah, this game looks amazing. It's gonna be, I think it's gonna be a content creator's dream because the world is so open and expansive, and we don't even know what you're gonna be able to do. But there's gonna be Easter eggs hidden everywhere, thanks to Miyazaki, and the story's might probably go into more depth thanks to George R.R. Martin. So I'm definitely excited for this. Final Fantasy XVI. This is a game that we've seen the trailer for, which was incredible. I mean, it was one of the best gaming trailers I've ever seen in my life. I played it like 10 times in a row. The music was so good. If there's cutscenes like that in the game, I mean, I'm just gonna love this game. So that being said, the studio, we're gonna cover this later in the show, but there's not much information on it. We hope it gets released this year, but we're not sure. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild sequel. This is a 100% a buy for me. I got my Switch late. I didn't get my Switch till 2 years ago. So I played this game late. I loved every minute of it. I hated the weapon system, obviously. But I definitely can't wait for this. This is a day one order for me. Dragon Quest III HD 2D Remake. Now, me and Josie, we talked about this. This one looks very interesting because it's a very beloved game for Dragon Age players. And a lot of people say it's one of the best RPGs ever made. I've never played it. Josie's played it. He loves it. So I will get it. Now, the problem is that sometimes HD remakes don't go over well. They're kind of loose with how they portray certain mechanics in the game. They leave some things out. They put some things in. That being said, I hope they stay true to the original, but they add quality of life improvements. That seems to be the best medium between both worlds. So I'm definitely gonna look forward to this. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna play it, and I want to know what everyone loves so much about this game. All right, and then their choice was Triangle Strategy. So this is gonna be a tactical RPG from Square Enix. We haven't had one since Final Fantasy Tactics and Tactics Ogre Let Us Cling together. Now, both of those are on PSP, and they released in 2007 and 2010. And then there was another one, Final Fantasy Tactics Ogres A2 Grimoire of the Rift, which was, I believe, also launched in 2007 on the DS. So most people, to get their tactical RPG fix, they play games like Fire Emblem. So this is going to be a very welcome game. Now, I remember when I got my second shot, I was feeling really sick. I was playing Tactics Ogre in my bed on my PSP, and I was like, man, why don't they make games like this anymore? So, well, they are. It's called Triangle Strategy, and hopefully it comes out this year. So that's it for. I think that's a really good list. That's it for those games that most people are looking forward to. So next up, we're gonna look at some Monster Hunter Rise details for PC. So this is another article by RPG Site. Capcom shows off screen filters in Monster Hunter Rise PC launch trailer and screenshots. So this is pretty interesting. Now I've seen games do this lately, where they will add different screen options. Like Ghost of Tsushima did it. They added like a cinematic way to play the game. So what they're gonna add is they're gonna add black and white, sepia, Japanese style, Warring Land style, and cinema style, which is gonna be on the black and white and the Japanese style, I believe. But as you can see here, they add a different look and feel to the game. I kind of like the Japanese style. I think that's a good mix between having color but also having a more traditional look. Now the game is gonna look awesome on PC because it's gonna be in 4K, and they're adding ultra wide mode, and I have an ultra wide monitor, so that's why I'm really considering just quitting the Switch version and just moving over to PC. The problem is they're not going to have crossplay, so I'm not going to be able to play with my friends on Switch. I'm going to have to play my Switch character with them. But that being said, this game is amazing, and I would honestly, this one flew under the radar for a lot of people. I would play it any way you can play it. If you only have a Switch, play it. If you have a Switch and PC, either one is fine, Switch or PC. And if you only have a PC, definitely get it on PC. Now, Sunbreak, there hasn't been much information released about it, so when there is, I'm gonna make sure to cover it on the show, because I'm definitely looking forward to Sunbreak. I'm pretty far in the game, so I need some new content. All right, next up, Digital Edition bonuses and Season Pass for Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origin revealed. This is an article from RPG Fan. So, all right, so let's look at the two different types here. So the Digital Standard Edition pre-order includes main game, digital pre-order bonus, 72-hour early access, 24 hours on PC through the Epic Game Store, Braveheart weapon and Lustrous Shield, Rebellion weapon and early purchase bonus valid until 11:59 p.m. PST, and PlayStation 4 theme. So it still blows my mind how many people cannot get a PS5 right now. The Digital Deluxe Edition, $89.99, Season Pass containing 3 missions, coming post-launch. Trials of the Dragon King, Wonder of the Rift, Different Future, Digital Art Book, and Digital Mini Soundtrack. That one is for $89.99. Now, the Season Pass will be available separately, but no price has been announced yet. I'm going to guess $19.99. Unfortunately, there's no indication of these pre-order items and PS4 theme being offered with the purchase of the physical version through separate digital codes. So the game's going to be released on March 18th. So I gotta say, this part about Strangers of Paradise, it makes sense, like, because if you look at games like most games coming out now have season passes, and they have DLC that you can buy. I think what I do is I play through the base game, beat the base game, and then I decide if I want that extra stuff. So I'm not going to be getting those digital pre-orders. I'm just going to buy a physical copy. I'm going to play it through, and if I enjoy the game and I want to play more, then I'll buy extra. That's what I do, because I've been burned before where I buy these digital deluxe versions, and then I get the game and I don't like it, and I've already spent, in some cases like 40% more, 50% more, and I can't resell it. If I'm lucky, I can get a digital refund on like Steam or something, but I don't know how easy it is on PlayStation. I've never tried. So, I guess people were able to get refunds for Cyberpunk. So yeah, I'm just going to get a physical one. I know Josie's going to get a physical one, and then I'm going to play it and see how it is. I don't like to pre-order digital deluxe bundles, especially with the state of how a lot of games are releasing these days. It's too risky for me. All right, so yeah, I definitely don't like that part. Okay, Final Fantasy XVI development update. No, this does not have any information about the game itself, unfortunately. So let's read this. This is a tweet from Naoki Yoshida. And okay. Greetings, everyone. When last we spoke, I promised I would have more information on Final Fantasy XVI sometime later in 2021. However, and believe me, I was waiting, especially at all the gaming shows. I was like, when are we going to know more? I regret to inform you that I will be unable to keep that promise, as complications stemming from the ongoing pandemic have delayed the game's development by almost a half year. As the latest addition to the Final Fantasy series being developed for the PS5, Final Fantasy XVI has amassed a sizable team composed of talented creators from around the world. However, in an effort to offset the effects of the pandemic, we had to decentralize that workforce by permitting staff to tackle their assignments from home. This has unfortunately hampered communication from the Tokyo office, which in turn has led to delays or in extreme cases, cancellations of asset deliveries from our outsourced partners. That said, we have spent much of 2021 addressing this issue and hope to see its impact to a minimum by the new year, allowing us to better focus on the task at hand, increasing graphics, resources, quality. Okay, so this is a non-update update for the game. So, you know, it sucks because I was so hyped when the trailer launched and then nothing after. So I've been waiting. Everybody's been waiting to hear more about it. So it looks like we're going to have to wait longer. Is the game going to release this year? It's anticipated. People want it to, but I don't know. I honestly don't know if it's going to release this year. They're having so many issues. It's hard to say. It really is. Okay. Next up. So this is an article by RPG Gamer. Trailer shows Tribes of Horizon Forbidden West. So this trailer is actually pretty cool. In the trailer they show different tribes in the world of Forbidden West, and they look very unique compared to each other. Now, if you played the original, you'll know that the game is all about tribalism, right? They live in this post-apocalyptic world, and all they have are these small tribes to keep safe, from the robotic abominations that, plague the land. So the game is very rooted in this culture that they have. Each tribe has a different culture. They believe different things. They're very superstitious, and it's almost kind of like harkening back to shamanism in a way. So yeah, it evokes these like very primitive, ancient imagery, and a lot of people can relate to it. So I think that's why one thing about the game that people love. So yeah, this trailer is pretty cool. It doesn't show much gameplay at all, but it does show you how the world building is, and it looks fantastic. Okay, so that being said, there was another announcement, not for her, this particular game, but there was an announcement for a VR game. Horizon Call of the Mountain announced for PlayStation VR. So I don't have a PlayStation VR, and I'm not going to buy one until they release first of all, I won't even consider it until they release a new PlayStation VR headset. The old one is very outdated. It's not keeping up with the times. And I mean, I'll just be honest. PlayStation VR is lacking compared to PC VR, like in a huge way. That being said, it is interesting that of all the console makers, Microsoft, Nintendo, Sony, they're the only ones offering a standalone VR headset. So I do think that is cool, but yeah, it's just not there for me. So until this comes on PC, I'm gonna pass on it, or until they release a new VR headset. But we gotta fast forward here. So yeah, the game is set in the same world, and you're just gonna. I don't know what the gameplay is gonna be like. I don't know if it's gonna be a more story-driven narrative type game, kind of like the Star Wars VR games are, or if it's gonna be a more action-based game, kind of like a lot of the shooters are on VR. I mean, I've been trying to get into VR more. I've been doing VR chat every night, and just trying to see where the landscape is going, especially, when it comes to RPGs. I think shooters, arcade games, rhythm games, those games have been doing, avatar chat, those games have been doing really well on VR. RPGs, they're harder to do, but I think, what's the one? Sword and Sorcery, I think. That one a lot of people like. But yeah, I think RPGs, they're gonna be the future of VR. That and like kind of, open world sandbox environments like VR chat. Okay. So the last story for today, Lost Ark. So this is a game that I have to admit I am a shill. I'm not a paid shill, but I'm a shill because my friend works at the studio that develops this game. So he told me about it. It was not on my radar, so I wasn't really paying attention. But this is I'm just kind of like pull this up and then I can kind of talk about it. So this is a game kind of like Black Desert or the countless other Korean RPG MMOs and Japanese MMOs, and they're targeted for a very different audience than North American audience. So what's the difference? These games are very, very grind heavy. Okay. So the game, I will say, the game looks beautiful. The gameplay looks really fun. The mechanics look solid. Here's the class system right here. You have warriors, assassin, mage, gunners, and martial artists. It's a very simplified class system, if you ask me. There's games like Rift that have very open class systems. The most open is like Ultima, and that game's so old. So it's like these very streamlined game systems. Class systems, I don't really like them. That being said, these types of games are really catered towards I don't know if this is going to be on mobile. I'm just going to guess maybe they have a mobile version. I don't know. But if you look at this skill point system, look how simple it is. You have 3 tiers, and depending on the combination you select, your attacks change. So one of my big gripes of World of Warcraft. Oh, that's funny. World of Warcraft. No, the game is faltering, but it's not a bad game. It's just they kind of lost their way. When they simplified their skill system, I hated it. I loved the more complicated skill system. When they made it like this, where it was just like you choose this going down a list of tiers, I was like, okay, I don't like this. Another thing, the grind heaviness of this game. Korean RPGs are known to be extremely grind heavy. They monopolize a lot of your time. Like I had a bunch of friends who played Lineage 2, and they loved it, and they spent countless hours on it. But it was just, I just couldn't get into it. It was too much grinding. You had to play for countless hours before you could play, if that makes sense. But this game, there's some interesting features. One is this ship system. You can create your own ship, and then you get around the map by sailing. You have a stronghold, so this is your own island that you can build up, which I assume is going to help you with the content system. And then, World of Warcraft has done this. Many MMOs have done this. Yeah. So my concern is that this is a free-to-play game, all right? And I don't know how intrusive they're going to be with their microtransactions. We covered Genshin Impact on here about how predatory their mechanics are. I mean, they have so many different currencies. They purposely convolute it. So, okay, I need 10 gems here, and I need 5 crystals here, and I need 2 gold pieces over here. It purposely do stuff like that. Instead of just having one currency that can do anything. Look, this PvP system doesn't even look fun at all. You're just in an arena, 3 versus 3. I tend to not like PvP systems like that. They're kind of frustrating, and hold on, let me turn off this alarm. Okay, I'm back. I have a lot of worries about free-to-play MMOs, particularly a Korean one where they're known to be extremely grind heavy. So I'm gonna put this game on my radar, but I'm not gonna commit until I see more reviews. It's coming out on Steam, so this game has already been out in Korea. It's popular in Korea, but like I said, their player base, they cater to their player base. Their player base likes certain types of games. Those games usually do not go over well in the Western audience. Okay, so that's just how I've seen it play out over the years. Now, that being said, I do think the Korean gaming market should have more exposure in the West. There are a lot of interesting games that we know nothing about. I have Korean family, and I was watching my brother-in-law play this game, and I was just like, what is this? Like, I have no idea all the games that they play in Korea. So I'm very interested in learning more about this game, but I am hesitant on it as well. That's it for this week. If you enjoyed any part of this video, please like, comment, subscribe. One of them, any of them, whatever you want to do. We're gonna let us know in the comments if you think it's a good idea for us to focus more on RPGs and kind of like move away from the industry news. I noticed the industry news, sometimes we got a lot of views. Other times, like if we criticize Google, it would get 0 views. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, their algorithm must pick up on that. So I know Toby here loves RPGs, so he's definitely going to be excited about it. Just let us know what you think in the comments below. And take care and keep on gaming, and see you all next time. Hey everyone, thanks for listening to this episode of Games I Speak. If you liked the episode, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you all next time.